Hello and welcome. Today let's take a look at this thing. This is Nerf's Roblox Adopt Me Bees Blaster. Let's dive in and check it out. Included in the box is of course the blaster itself. We have 8 yellow colored elite darts and a code to a free virtual item. I'm personally not a Roblox player, so feel free to use this code. And actually, I do have a second one, so feel free to use this code as well. Now let's go over this thing and talk about functionality and features. Up at the front, we do have this 8-dart cylinder. Now loading is slightly tedious. There is a cutout only on the left-hand side, not present on the right, and that is pretty much the only place that you can comfortably load darts. Which is slightly annoying, but this blaster is focusing more on appearance and aesthetics rather than optimum functionality. Speaking of aesthetics, this blaster is styled very strangely. Of course, as the name suggests, this blaster is modeled after bees, so we have kind of a honey theme. The cylinder has these honeycombs on it, and it is basically all black, orange, and yellow. Of course, not everybody's going to be a big fan of this appearance. However, I do think they did a pretty good job styling this blaster. Now, as far as ergonomics go, this blaster is not great. The grip would be okay if it wasn't for this lever. It does not really sit flush with the grip. It's kind of extended out, so it doesn't make for a super comfortable experience. The stock is not actually the worst aspect of this blaster. It's a bit short, but you can actually choke up on it, and if you wanted to use it, you could use it. Then at the front of the blaster, I think the only real place to put your hand is right here, and you have to be careful not to interrupt the cylinder rotation. So not the most ergonomic design. Now, as you can probably tell, there are no stock attachments, barrel attachments, or tactical rails on this blaster. As far as operation, this blaster is lever action, same as the Slingfire or Scavenger. However, unlike the Slingfire and Scavenger, this blaster is cylinder fed. I think this is Nerf's first cylinder fed lever action blaster. To fire the blaster, assuming you have darts loaded up, pull the lever forward and back, and then you can pull the trigger. If you get the technique right, you can also prime this blaster with one hand. Now, the absolute weirdest thing about this blaster to me is the fact that it does actually have slam fire, but it is not like the Scavenger slam fire. On that blaster, if you don't know, it basically had a slam fire switch. So when you flip the switch to the slam fire setting, all you had to do was pull the lever back and forth and it would continuously fire. But this blaster does not feature any kind of switch. It operates just like a normal slam firing blaster, where you hold down the trigger and repeatedly pump the priming handle. Using Slamfire with this thing is an experience, definitely unique. Not the most comfortable thing. I hold it with my right hand. I hold down the trigger. I kind of put my other fingers away from the bottom of the grip awkwardly, and then I just pull the handle forward and back. So very weird, very unconventional, not practical, but yes, it does have slam fire. Despite the janky operation, this blaster is actually very smooth and works well. I actually really do appreciate the fact that this blaster is so unique. Pretty much all the other Roblox blasters have either been a reshell or an inferior design, but this is actually something completely new. So it might actually be my favorite Roblox blaster exclusively for that reason. With all that out of the way, let's take this thing outside and grab some numbers. Okay, we have the included yellow elite darts loaded up. 71. 73. 75. 70. Duplicate 70, 76, 71, last one, and 66. I actually expected this thing to perform a little bit lower, so that is actually pretty solid for an elite style blaster. Now let's fire some shots downrange. So those were easily getting 80 feet, but of course, with the included elite darts, your accuracy is just not there. So if you want more consistent and accurate performance, definitely switch to Nerf AccuStrike darts or Dart Zone waffles. So what are my final thoughts on the Nerf Roblox Adopt Me Bees blaster? So I know this blaster has been out for a little while now, however, I really wanted to take a full look at it because I think it's the most interesting blaster that the Nerf Roblox line has to offer. That is, of course, just my opinion, but while this thing is very janky and not super practical, it's actually a very interesting blaster and a lot of fun to use. Like I mentioned earlier, I think this is Nerf's first cylinder-fed lever-action blaster. So overall, while this thing is nowhere close to groundbreaking, I really do like the design. I think it does what it's trying to do, and that is to just be a very goofy and fun blaster. If you like what this blaster has to offer and you'd like to purchase one, I will have a link in the description. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you like what I do, and happy blasting.